I think we all know the real game of the year 2020, Ghost of Tsushima. You know, the game where you can pet foxes. I recently finished the game and its DLC, and boy did it have a lot to tell. This video has major spoilers, by the way. I don't go into much detail about the story, but if you like to experience the story for yourself, then I advise you to play it before watching this video. Let's give a brief rundown. The game follows Jin Sakai, samurai and leader of the Sakai clan, as he goes to war with all of the other clans of Tsushima against the invading Mongols. Almost all of the samurai die in the battle on the beach. You, however, are left for dead. That is until a young thief named Yuna pulls you from the battlefield and nurses you back to health. At that point, you, Jin Sakai, are the only samurai that you know of that made it out alive. That is until you learn that your uncle, Lord of Clan Shimura and Tsushima, Lord Shimura, has been captured and taken to Castle Canada. Jin wastes no time and stores Castle Canada, head on to face the Khan in an honorable battle. Unfortunately and predictably, you lose the battle and are thrown from the bridge. Jin knew one thing for certain. If he were to save his uncle and Tsushima, he was to change his approach. Jin proceeds to make alliances and learn new skills. Skills that go directly against the code of the samurai, directly against their code of honor. Tactics such as assassinations, poison, and terror. Tactics that were necessary to save his uncle and Tsushima. Jin proceeded to build a name for himself. He wasn't merely just a samurai. He was the ghost. The ghost that brought justice and safety to the people of Tsushima. His uncle was not happy with the path he was going down. This is emphasized after Lord Shimura's attempt to take back Castle Canada fails. He wanted to throw more men at the problem, while Jin had a far more efficient plan. Jin wanted to poison the Mongols' food to take them by surprise and prevent any more good men from dying as mere pawns. Lord Shimura refused, stating that the use of poison goes against the samurai code. Jin didn't take no for an answer, and felt that the problem fell to his own hand. He then snuck into Castle Canada, poisoned the Mongols, taking back the rest of Castle Canada single-handedly. Lord Shimura was livid. He couldn't believe the actions Jin took. The consequences of Jin's actions were now beyond Lord Shimura's control. It was up to the shogunate to decide his fate, which was basically just going to be an order to Jin that he should kill himself now. Jin was arrested and taken to Castle Shimura to be sorted for shipping to the shogunate. I'll speed things up now. Jin is freed by one of his friends. He escapes, plans an attack on the Khan himself, leaves a private letter to Lord Shimura asking for help in the final battle. They push Khan in a corner, where Jin Sakai takes his head in dishonorable battle. The Khan started it, by the way. Yay, happy time, they won. Yes, indeed. However, Lord Shimura invites Jin to the place where they sparred and where Lord Shimura trained Jin to be a samurai. Lord Shimura informs Jin that he was ordered by the shogunate to kill him. Lord Shimura tells Jin that he has no honor, to which Jin delivers the best line ever.
You have no honor, and you are a slave to it.
Oh, that's the best line in the game, dude.
Jin kicks his ass. Lord Shimura begs for an honorable warrior's death, but Jin spares his life, informing Shimura that he himself has no honor. I skipped over a lot of details, so please play this game, it's amazing. But moving on, let's dissect Jin Sakai a bit further. He is an adaptable person with a unique sense of individuality. No shit, you might say, but think about it this way. Jin was raised as a samurai, taught to follow the code like his life depended on it, which it did, by the way. But anyway, this way of teaching usually leads to a lack of creative thinking and adaptability. For Jin to slowly discard the code of the samurai to use more effective skills for the betterment of the people of Tsushima took a lot of courage. He knew that he was standing against everything his dad and his uncle taught him to be, yet he knew it was necessary. In the end, he himself defied the entire fucking shogunate for the safety and betterment of the people of Tsushima. I can relate to Jin on a personal level. I think a lot of people can in different ways, but this is a bit more creative and time to go on one of my fucking famous rants, I guess. I talked a lot about how questioning was pretty hard to work through, without really going into detail. I'm still gonna leave some things out for obvious reasons. I was raised to believe that all forms of sexual and romantic relationships should be between a man and a woman. Basically, my parents are pretty conservative Christians, but yeah. I can still remember the first time I had romantic feelings for someone. One of my male friends at the time. I was 8. Couldn't place it at first. I was all blushy and shy and also quite confident for an 8-year-old. I was also 8 when my parents sat me down and told me that homosexuality is a sin, and that God dislikes them and all that bullshit. And that was the start of my internalized homophobia. My feelings would resurface over the years, leaving me confused and panicked. I mean, being gay is just a choice, right? Then why the hell do I feel gay? From impulse thoughts like, God, I want to kiss generic male friend name on the lips, and then almost having a full-on panic attack because of the thought, to having dreams of me just saying the words I'm gay and waking up full of sweat and panic. This goes on for about 10 years or so until I joined the furry fandom for real this time. I realized that I liked the male furries way more for some reason. I even caught myself forming a bit of an innocent celebrity crush on a furry VTuber I used to watch a lot. No, I won't say who it is, even with a gun to my head. Lol. Not that it's embarrassing or anything like that, I just prefer to keep it to myself. Anyway, Coda RL. What, you thought I was actually embarrassed to say it? I mean, look into my eyes, I'm a shameless fox. But anyway, Coda RL turned out to be my gay awakening. More accurately, my bi-awakening. Someone once told me that labels are merely a means of communication. It's not necessarily a code to live by. The nature of the human being is much more fluid than that, especially when it comes to something like queerness. When someone asks my sexuality in general, I just say that I'm gay. Because it's easier to explain and 80% true. In actuality, I'm a homoromantic bisexual. It was really hard to understand it myself at first. On the one hand, I did and do experience attraction towards girls, but I've never experienced romantic attraction for them. Believe me, I tried really fucking hard, it just doesn't work that way for me. I have experienced both physical and romantic attraction towards guys on many. It just took me a long while to accept it for myself. I remember standing in the soft drinks aisle of the grocery store, confused about what the fuck was happening to me. And then at some point I just thought, let's consider the possibility of me being bi for a moment. And I did, and I smiled, thinking to myself that in reality it's not that bad. Along the road towards self-acceptance, I've realized that I have a huge preference towards men, and that they're the ones I'm romantically attracted to. This means that I can't be the good little Christian boy my parents so desired me to be. And I've made peace with that fact. I've also since left Christianity because honestly it just caused me more pain than anything else. Absurdism and stoicism for life, yo. Jin Sakai is the icon of individuality, adaptability, and ironically enough, honor in a way. Because when faced with the pressing matter at hand, he knew that the most honorable thing to do in the moment was act without any honor at all. He knew the cost and paid his debts, embracing his truth without compromising for another's. He stopped acting like a samurai and embraced being himself. He embraced being the Ghost of Tsushima.